Brandon Mand, we got to talk. Dynasty roster review 13. Brandon Mand. He's got a 12 team, 27 roster spot, 6 Devy spot, Dynasty League. Maybe not my favorite team of the year, but absolutely my favorite format. This is a beautiful league. Tight end premium, PPR, one super flex. Just an excellent league setup. Shout out to Brandon Mand and whoever's commissioning this league. I absolutely love this format. It is mostly what these are elements of what my Dynasty leagues look like at this point. I play almost all super flex, tight end premium. The only thing that's not the same is that mine are mostly best ball. But yeah, this is a beautiful 10 roster spots, nice deep rosters, 27 roster spots, 10 starting spots. Love it. So let's get into it. Let's get into the strengths here. So number one, having Justin Herbert's an enormous advantage. And let's also put the context out there right away. Brandon is in year one. So as I'm going to mention in the conclusion here, year one is not going to look like a successful year 3 or year 4 of a Dynasty league. It's just, if you're able to build correctly, things are going to look way better in year 3 or year 4 than they are in year 1. So I think we have to throw that context out there. There's probably not going to be a year 1 Dynasty roster that's going to get an A or an A+ from me, just because that's when the league is most even. And once you kind of get into year 2 or even the stretch run of year 1, trades happen, the league starts to get lopsided in a bunch of different directions. Right now, barring, someone absolutely routing the league with trades, this is going to be, a pretty even setup for these 12 teams. So we got Justin Herbert. That's a huge advantage. There's only 3 or 4 quarterbacks in Dynasty I think can compete with Justin Herbert from both a season-long and Dynasty value point of view. It's just a huge advantage. And also I'd like to point out, shout out to Brandon here for not only drafting Baker Mayfield, but also doing this little Drew Lock, Geno Smith stack. And he did this before the Baker Mayfield trade. So there was quite a bit of risk priced into this setup at quarterback, because we didn't know if Baker Mayfield was going to get traded to Seattle. But now that we don't, we have our 3 quarterbacks. So this gamble paid off huge. It could have gone disastrously. But barring a Jimmy G trade to Seattle, which seems highly unlikely right now, Brandon's going to go into year 1 with not only a nice future piece in Desmond Ridder potentially, but Baker Mayfield, clear QB2 every week. He can definitely be thrown in that super flex spot. But also during bye weeks, we have this combination here that we should get some clarity on at some point in the year between Drew Lock and Geno Smith, and they'll be startable. You can throw them in, and that's the thing about QB3 in Dynasty leagues and Superflex Dynasty leagues. You don't need an all-star. You just need something to throw in there in case of emergency. So I really love that. Might be a little excess there with the 3 backup quarterbacks, but I guess we'll get into that in the next section. Love Austin Eckler for 2022. I think he's a nice piece, and I love the stack here with Harris and Stevenson. Nice cheap stack, and you'll probably get some RB1 weeks out of this combo. Nice flex plays. If either goes down, that's going to be big for the other one. And Rashad Penny, I'm always going to co-sign drafting Rashad Penny, so we like to see that as well. I do like the DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman connection. The fact that you stacked Metcalf with his quarterbacks, at least for this year, I like. I think this is going to be a good spot for both these guys the next couple years. Metcalf, he's probably not going to do what he did with Russell Wilson. So I do think we have to price that in. That's why he's dropped to an 83 in my Dynasty rankings, despite being, probably more talented than some of the guys ahead of him. Young, prolific seasons already. I really like Metcalf, and I really like Pittman, especially with Matt Ryan. Pittman already showed last year he is in a position to be, a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2. If you can get a couple 1,100-plus receiving yard seasons from him, you're going to be happy with that. I'm much higher on Donovan Peoples-Jones than others. Obviously, the Deshaun Watson situation is going to matter a lot for him and his value, but he feels like a guy who can be that generational outlier for late-round picks, and I think, he's well on his way to proving that after his first 2 years. I thought he grew into a nicer role last year very well as a deep threat, and I don't know why he wouldn't grow on that again. David Bell was something people were kind of fading Donovan Peoples-Jones for, and I don't really think they play similar roles, at least from a route tree perspective. So I like Donovan Peoples-Jones a lot, and I think he's going to be just fine. So like this play here, though, might be stretching it as a wide receiver 3. Van Jefferson, we obviously heard about the news. He can be a flex guy. On the other end of the spectrum, with the Jefferson injury, Jalen Tolbert, James Washington went down in practice today. Could be a fracture, could be something. We got to wait to see what's going on there, but could be some issues there. So I think we got to keep that in context. Tyler Lockett and Robert Woods, again, these are probably not guys I would target in a regular Dynasty league. No Devy picks, no college prospects. However, I'm going to make the bull case for some veterans here because you are playing multiple rookie drafts years out. That's basically what you're doing when you're drafting college players ahead of time. You're playing with a longer time horizon. So you're basically, when you're playing in a regular Dynasty league, you're really constantly thinking about what is the market value of my roster. And unless you're rostering future rookie picks, these roster values are kind of set. Like there's a ticking time portion on all of these guys. So when you look at a Tyler Lockett or Robert Woods, they're getting into their late 20s, early 30s, and they could really fall off statistically any year. They're going to worse passing games, Lockett losing his quarterback and Woods going to Tennessee. Woods coming off a major injury. But because we have those college picks, because we probably have more assets like coming in the future, we got some high floor, high ceiling guys, and 2 players we'll talk about in a little bit. Because we have those, we have a little more leverage from a market value standpoint. If Robert Woods falls off, that's okay because we have Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison's going to be coming up, and, maybe not year 1, but he's going to be able to plug in here starting next year, right in this range. Michael Mayer, another guy that was grabbed. I guess we can talk about it here. So Michael Mayer is an excellent tight end prospect. And in a tight end premium league where it's really hard to get tight ends, this is huge. This is a huge, huge pick. I think in the email, Brandon said that he was getting multiple offers for Mayer, and that makes total sense. You definitely want this guy in a tight end premium. He's not quite Kyle Pitts level talent from a receiving perspective, but overall, as an overall tight end, he profiles like, a 10, 15-year player. So probably going to be a top 10 pick this next year. And Addison, won the Blitnikoff, or what did he win? Jordan Addison, Heisman? He didn't win the Heisman. Oh, he did win the Heisman. All right, so I wrote that in the article. He did win the Heisman. All right, good. Oh boy. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, the fact that you have Jordan Addison here, transferred to USC, going to be playing with Caleb Williams, I think that's just a huge deal. So, the point is, there's assets on the back burner here that other teams are not going to have in this league. So that's huge. Tight ends in a great spot. You got Hawkinson as your tight end 1. I love Jelani Woods as a developmental pick, especially in this format. And then Alberto, who's a guy who, I think is going to be fantasy relevant this year, and is a guy that can definitely be a flex play. As long as Greg Dulcich doesn't really come and mess this up for us. But I love Alberto. The last thing I'll say for the strengths, I love that you picked up Kyle Rudolph. I think that's such a sneaky play right now. I mean, when he got picked up, most people were like, gross. And I agree. It is gross, but it's Tom Brady. Kyle Rudolph has proven to be a red zone threat. He can definitely do the Austin Hooper, run a 5-yard out and or 5-yard turnaround and catch it and fall over. I definitely think he can do that. So in a league like this where tight ends, are picked up quickly, I think we can appreciate. We're more taking this away from someone else than adding it to our roster. So anyway, there you go. As I mentioned, I love the picks that were made here: Jordan Addison, Michael Mayer, Akane, Billingsley. These guys all have pretty high floors in terms of their NFL potential, which is kind of the way I like to play it. So yeah, this is a nice setup here. And all right, I will see you at the weak points.